The phone buzzed on a nightstand, a sharp vibration slicing through the silence of the apartment. My heart lurched as I grabbed it, expecting Sarah's goodnight text. Instead, a photo loaded on the screen, a punch to the gut. Sarah, my fiancée, perched on another man's lap, her arms draped around his neck, her smile radiant in a way I hadn't seen in months. The caption beneath it read, "Leveled up." My chest tightened, the air in the room suddenly too thin. I stared at the image, my thumb hovering over the screen, as if swiping away could erase the truth staring back at me. The apartment was quiet, save for the faint hum of the refrigerator and the occasional creak of the old wooden floorboards. I sat on the edge of the bed, the weight of the moment pressing me into the mattress. The photo was a mistake. She'd sent to me, deliberately, her name glowing above the message. My mind scrambled for excuses. Maybe it was a joke, a playful jab meant to rile me up. Sarah loved her pranks, didn't she? But the man's hand rested too comfortably on her waist. His fingers splayed possessively, and her eyes sparkled with a confidence that felt foreign, like a stranger wearing her face. I tried to call her, my fingers trembling as I pressed the phone to my ear. It rang once, twice, then went to voicemail. Her chipper recorded voice mocked me. "Hey, it's Sarah. Leave a message and I'll get back to you." I hung up, my pulse hammering in my temples. The clock on the wall ticked past midnight, each second stretching into eternity. She was supposed to be at a work conference in Chicago, not sitting on some guy's lap, sending cryptic messages that felt like a blade twisting in my chest. Memories flooded in unbidden, the way Sarah had been distant lately, her laughter less frequent, her touches fleeting. I'd chalked it up to stress. Her promotion had her working late, traveling more. But there were signs, weren't there? The way she'd linger on her phone, angling the screen away from me. The new perfume she wore, musky and bold, when she'd always preferred soft florals. The late-night team meetings that dragged on longer than they should. I dismissed them, smothered my doubts with trust. Love does that. It blinds you until the truth cuts through like a spotlight. I opened the photo again, zooming in on the man's face. He was older, maybe mid-40s, with sharp cheekbones and a smug grin. The background was dim, a blur of warm lights and crowded tables. Some upscale bar, not the sterile conference room she described. My stomach churned. Was this planned? A taunt? Or had she meant to send it to someone else? And I was just collateral damage? The thought made my throat burn with bile. I typed a message. "What the hell is this?" But my thumb froze over the send button. What if she didn't answer? What if she did? The next morning, I sat at the kitchen table, coffee gone cold in my mug. Sarah had texted at 2 a.m. "Sorry, late night. Talk tomorrow." No mention of the photo, no explanation. I wanted to scream, to demand answers, but fear held me back. What if I was wrong? What if I was the paranoid one, reading too much into a moment? I replayed our last conversation, her rush goodbye at the airport, her distracted smile. "I'll miss you," she'd said, but her eyes were already elsewhere, chasing something I couldn't see. When she called at noon, her voice was bright, too bright, like glass about to shatter. "Hey, babe, how's my favorite guy?" she chirped. I gripped the phone, my knuckles white. The words clawed at my throat, but I couldn't spit them out. Instead, I mumbled, "Good." "You," she laughed, a sound that used to warm me but now felt like a mask. Exhausted. This conference is intense. Networking, presentations, the works. I wanted to call her out, to ask about the man, the lap, the leveled up that haunted my dreams. But my tongue felt heavy, my courage brittle. "Sounds busy," I said, hating how small my voice sounded. "Anything exciting happen?" A pause, so brief I might have imagined it. "Oh, just work stuff. Met some cool people." Her tone was casual, but there was an edge, a crack in her usual warmth. I pictured her in that bar, her body pressed against his, her lips curling into that smile. My heart pounded, a drumbeat of dread. "Cool people, huh?" I pressed, my voice tightening. "Like who?" She laughed again, sharper this time. "God, Ethan, you sound like a cop. Just colleagues, okay? I'm beat. Can we talk later?" The call ended before I could respond. leaving me staring at the phone, the silence louder than ever. Colleagues don't sit on each other's laps. Colleagues don't send photos like that. That evening, I pored over her social media, something I'd never done before. Her posts were polished, professional, smiling with coworkers, captioned with corporate buzzwords. But there, buried in her tag photos, was a shot from last night. Same bar, same warm lights. She was laughing, her head thrown back, the man's arm around her. The caption read, "New connections, new heights." My vision blurred, hot tears stinging my eyes. I wanted to believe it was innocent, but the pieces didn't fit. The late nights, the photo, the cryptic caption. It all pointed to a truth I wasn't ready to face. I waited for her to come home, the apartment suffocating in its stillness. When she walked through the door, her suitcase rattling behind her, I was on the couch, the phone in my hand. She froze when she saw my face, her smile faltering. "Ethan? What's wrong?" Her voice was soft, but there was a flicker of something. Guilt? Fear? I held up the phone, the photo glaring between us. "Explain this," I said, my voice low, trembling with rage and hurt. Her eyes widened, then narrowed. "It's nothing. A joke. You're overreacting." But her hands shook as she set down her bag, her gaze darting away. "A joke?" I snapped, standing. "You're on his lap. Sarah, you wrote, leveled up. What am I supposed to think?" She crossed her arms, her jaw tight. "You're supposed to trust me. It was a work thing, a silly moment. God, why are you making this a big deal?" The room spun, her words a flimsy shield. "A work thing?" I laughed, bitter and raw. "You don't send photos like that to your fiancé." "Who is he?" Her silence was deafening, her eyes glistening with something I couldn't name. Then softly she said, "He's someone who sees me, Ethan. Someone who doesn't make me feel like I'm drowning in routine." The words hit like a sledgehammer, shattering the last of my denial. She wasn't just cheating. She was leaving emotionally, maybe physically. I sank onto the couch, my anger dissolving into a hollow ache. "So that's it? You're done with us?" My voice cracked, betraying the love that still clung to me like damp clothes. She looked away, tears streaming down her face. "I don't know," she whispered. "I didn't mean for this to happen." The apartment felt smaller, the walls closing in. I wanted to hate her, to scream, but all I felt was loss, like grieving someone who was still standing in front of me. "Get out," I said, barely audible. She nodded, grabbing her suitcase, and walked out the door. The click of the latch echoed, final and irrevocable. In the silence, I opened the photo one last time. Her smile, his hand, the caption, leveled up. It wasn't just betrayal. It was her declaration of a new life, one I wasn't part of. And as I sat there alone, I realized a twist. She hadn't just broken my heart. She'd been breaking for months, and I'd been too in love to see it.